Hi, I'm Melanie from Yoga Within. Welcome to the studio. It seems pretty strange for me to be sitting in this big room all by myself, but it helps to know that a bunch of you are out there watching and sharing funny comments with me all the time. A couple of you have said you punch your pass before you take a class. Some of you said you wave to me, so hi, welcome. If you have ideas or suggestions for classes that you'd like to see, don't hesitate to text me or email me and give me your suggestions. For now, for today, about the only prop you will need is a piece of Kleenex. So grab a piece of Kleenex, have it close by, and then just find your most comfortable seated position to start in. Use the props if you need to lift the hips and tilt the pelvis. And if you know that it's a morning that you prefer to start on your back, then by all means, lie down on your back. Just take a moment, extend the arms out, inhale, gather up all the positive energy and thoughts that you can, and exhale, bring those positive thoughts into your heart. And again, a long breath in. You can roll the gaze up, following the fingertips, and exhale, lower the gaze down. One more time, long breath in, lengthening the spine, and a long letting go exhalation, letting all those positive thoughts, all the positive energy settle into your heart center. You can rest your thumbs on your sternum, keeping your hands at the heart. You can lower your hands to your lap. Just whatever feels the best for you. Your eyes can be open or closed. Softening the gaze. Connecting to the ground, supporting you. Just allowing that connection to be solid and stable. Just follow the breath as it moves within you. Just feeling gratitude for our breath. There's no need to force it. Just let it flow naturally. I am breathing in. I am breathing out. Allowing the tension to begin to melt away. All the activities of the morning slowly drift by. The mind follows the waves of the breath. Breath by breath, giving the mind permission to slow down. All those thoughts drift by, one by one. And yes, our thoughts do come back. But we can, with each exhalation, attempt to release a thought. Until slowly we can begin to welcome moments of stillness. Moments of mindful breath. Attempting to let go. Slowly awareness begins to return. Just bringing some gentle movement into the neck as it rolls side to side, or gently from shoulder to shoulder across the collarbones. Bring your gaze up. Let your head turn right. And then let your head turn left. Bring it back to the center. Drop the ear to the left shoulder. Back to the center, dropping to the right shoulder. Once more in each direction, keeping that spine nice and long. And last time. Bringing the head back up, dropping the chin right down towards the hollow of the throat. And then lifting and extending the chin up to the ceiling, rolling the eyeballs up and back in their sockets. Chin to chest. Gaze up, bring the lower lip up to the nose, stretch through the neckline. And drop and tap. Once more, lifting the chin up, dropping the shoulders down, bringing that bottom lip up. And then open and close the jaw a few times. And then release it. Roll your shoulders back a few times. Forward a few times. Both shoulders come up. Both shoulders drop. And again, up and down. Take the legs, stretch them out, bounce into your knees. Rock a bit, readjust the bottom. Big circles through the ankles. Go the other way. Point and flex, just jiggle yourself along the mat. Spread your toes and curl the toes. It's good, let the movement stop. Stretch the arms out, move the shoulders forward and back, forward and back. Rotate the wrists, both directions. Tight fists. Bring the arms up as high as you can without hurting your shoulders. Take a breath in and a breath out as you let it go. And one more time, breath in, tighten everything up. And a breath out. Release. Bounce the knees. Adjust the bottom. Let the knees bend. Establish how close together or how far apart you need your knees and feet. And move into a forward fold just to start to warm the body up a bit. You might find you can begin to straighten the legs a little or a lot. Keep that natural curve of your neck. You can use straps if you have them. You can use neckties. You can use skipping ropes. You can use your bathrobe strap, whatever you have. And then curl yourself up. Roll the shoulders back and forward. It's good. Let the knees bend again. Just bring that left leg up. Rock it out. Do some circles. Try to get the circles right from the hips. Pause, draw in, sit up nice and tall. Take that leg down, pick the other leg up, rock. Just notice how are your hips doing today. Try not to lean back. Do some circles in both directions. Just really moving according to how your body needs to move today. It's a cold day out. And go the other way. And then pause. Sitting nice and tall, connecting with your breath. And take that leg down. Go into a bit of a fold. Stretch the legs out if that feels better. Try to smile. Find that inner child we all have and connect with it. Rock a bit. Support the head if you need to. And then bring yourself up. Once more, stretch the legs out, bounce them out. Swing the legs behind. Come onto your hands and knees. Remember, use any padding you need under the knees. Just take a moment just to let the hips sway a bit from side to side. That'll kind of help you establish your foundation, how far apart the knees and feet need to be. Then let the movement stop. And take your hips to the right and look over your right shoulder. Bring the hips and the head back to the center. Send the hips left. Look over the left shoulder, breathing. And back to the center. Tuck the toes, send the bottom back to the heels. Walk the hands a little bit from side to side, swaying bottom across heels. Good. Then come back up, tops of the feet on the mat. As you exhale, tuck the tail, squeeze the air to the lower abdominals. Draw the bottom back to the heels. Inhale as you come forward, lifting the tail, expanding the belly, lifting the chest, long neck, roll the eyes up. Exhale, squeeze the air to the lower abdominals, send bottom back to heel. Inhale, tail lifts, belly expands, sternum lifts, long neck as the eyes roll up. Continue doing the same thing for 2 more times, or tuck the toes, tuck the tail, squeeze the arrow, and move into downward dog. From downward dog, knees to the ground, tail lifts, belly expands, sternum lifts, eyes up. Exhale, tuck, bottom back, downward dog. Walk the downward dog out. If you're in child's pose, you may want to let the bottom rock across the heels. Then find your way onto your hands and knees and bring yourself down onto your mat, onto your left side. So think about the straight edge of your mat and try to line the body up along that straight edge. Come down on your bottom arm, and if you prefer to put padding under your head, a little block or a blanket, do that. Try not to roll back or tip forward. This top hand is just here for balance. Flex both your feet. And as you inhale, slowly start to lift that top leg up. And as you exhale, lower the leg down. Do this 8 times. Try to connect your movement to the breath. Now remember, if I lift my leg all the way up, I roll back and I'm not using any of this core strength or stability. So it's not about how high you lift your leg. It's about how you're using the strength in your body. It's harder to go slow. So think if I put an elastic band around your ankles and you had to lift with resistance, and then as you lowered, you were lowering down like you were trying to pop a helium balloon, connecting right here at the core. If 8 is too many, do less. If 8 is not enough, do more. Remember that I did cue you lift and lower the leg, but also you're lengthening the leg. If you feel this in your neck or in your shoulders, I suggest you make some changes because we're not working our neck and shoulders right now. When you finish, pause. If you feel your back at all, let the knees bend to release the back. Then straighten your legs, and this time you come up so your shoulder and your elbow are in line. And I don't know if you can see, but I really want to tip forward. So again, I try to lift up. It's good, and the top leg lifts. Again, I can lift that top leg here, but I'm rolling my bottom back and not using this strength. As the leg goes up, don't sink into the arm, lift. And again, if you can do 8, do 8. It's as though the elbow draws to the hip, the heel draws to the hip. There's that lift, the connection in the center that allows the weight not to move down. If you do need a little blanket under your side body, use that little blanket for some padding. Keep your breathing. Notice if the weight is even on every part of your body connected to the ground. Once you've done your 8 or the number of your choice, if you feel your neck at all, you can always take that hand, the top hand, and support the neck, giving it a bit of traction. Once you've done the number you're doing, let the knees bend, let the back release. Try to resist sinking down. Stay tall, use some of that upper body strength. And now you're opening into these clamshell position, trying to keep the big toe and the heel side of your foot connected. Pressing, lifting this upper body up. No strain in the neck, hopefully. Doing 8 if you can. And again, remember, it's not about opening here. It's lifting, feeling that movement of the hip in its socket. And if it feels better to keep the hand on the hip, then keep the hand on the hip. Use your body in the way that gives you the best feedback for how things are feeling for you. Remember, if you're feeling your neck, you can turn the gaze down. Once you've done the number of your choice, but it should be at least 8, come on. Let the movement stop. The top hand rests on the rib cage. Press into the elbow on the ground and start drawing that top shoulder towards the floor without collapsing. As you inhale, you roll up and open up into a gentle twist. Coming down, press into that palm and the elbow on the floor. Don't sink into it. Roll back, look way back behind you, and then press down, open up, shoulder blades, squeeze, and last time, rolling down, and opening up, squeeze the shoulder blades, feel that torso rotate around the spine, and bringing yourself back. Now extending the legs again so the body is straight, placing the top hand on the floor, taking the bottom hand and turn so the fingers point forward, and then you lower, bend and lift the leg. Coming up, leg lowers. Going down, leg lifts. Use your breath. Again, you don't want to feel this in the neck and shoulders. It's not a forward movement, taking the leg back. It's down. It's like you're pulling your hands towards each other. Try one more. Stop. Lower the elbow down. Roll over onto your back. Bring the knees up into the chest. And rock the back out. Resist putting anything under your head here, but do adjust your neck. If you want to bring yourself all the way up, bringing nose to knees, then that's what you should do. Knees and feet a little farther apart will give you a massage in a different part of your spine and low back. Foot soles come to the floor. Heels below the knees, feet about hip width apart. Again, reposition your neck so the chin's down a bit and you have space for a couple of fingers between the floor and the neck, or the natural curve of your spine. Don't do what I do. Don't turn your head. I'm just watching you all, making sure you're not cheating. Good. And then slowly lift the bottom up, mid-back. Roll the shoulders under, resist thrusting the ribs if you can, connect at the core. It's as though the feet move to the shoulders move to the feet, the hips lift, the sternum moves to the chin. If they touch, just lift those hips a bit higher. Remember, you do want to use your glutes, just don't overuse them. Coming down, upper back, mid-back, low back, bottom, pause. Let the knees rock a bit from side to side. If you need your thighs up into your chest in between, then that's what you should do. Remember, Yoga is a self-discovery, and it is a new discovery every time you come to your mat. So don't assume what you might have done yesterday or even 2 hours ago will be the same this time. Let the movement pause, reset your foundation, which is whatever's on the ground, and then slowly come up, bottom, low back, mid back, upper back. And as you move into the asana, the posture, let it unfold from the inside out. Try not to be attached to what it looks like, but really feel it. Do you feel pain or discomfort? Start to become aware of the sensations you feel when you're in the postures themselves. And let those cues guide you. Because remember, I can't even see you right now, so I can give you suggestions, but you're in charge. And then slowly come down, upper back, mid back, low back, bottom. Rock it out. And then knees into chest, or happy baby if that's what you need. And then from here, you can roll over to the side and sit up, or maybe you want to do a few of the spinal rocks if you're feeling particularly warm and like you want to do that. And then I did not forget that you have another side. So roll over onto your other side, set your foundation. So maybe you need padding under this hip. Extend the arm, check in with the neck. Connect here, top and bottom half, right at the core. So try not to roll forward or stick the bottom back. Just imagine that I was there in the room with you and standing behind you. You can do this against the wall as well. And then as you inhale, you slowly lift the leg. And as you exhale with resistance, you lower that leg down, connecting here at the core. This top hand is just there for balance. The shoulders are moving apart. And keep in mind, if it feels too easy, well, you should probably change it. And the other side of that is if it feels painful, like you're in agony and you can't breathe, you should change that. And you may inhale to the count of 5 and exhale to the count of 7, taking yourself out of that fight or flight and into more of a relaxation response as we make our exhalations a little bit longer. And keep in mind, when you learn to move slowly with control and strength on the mat, when you start moving faster, you have that awareness. When you've done the number that you're going to do, pause. Let the knees bend if you're feeling the back at all. Press into this top palm, bring yourself up and reset your foundation. So shoulder, elbow and wrist in line. Legs are straight. So hips, knees, heels in line. You're pressing to lengthen. Again, lift, lower. And this is where I really start to notice the difference in my body from side to side. Much more limited on one side than the other today anyways. Remember to use your feet. Spread your toes. Lift the arches of your feet. You get out of things what you put into them. And moving is better than not moving. Use your breathing. Again, not rolling back and lifting the leg up. It's not about how high you're lifting. The shoulders move apart. I'm not counting. I'm sure you figured that out by now. I know some of you count for me, so I'm counting on you to do that at home. When you've done what feels about the same as the other side, stop and let the knees bend. Reset your foundation. This time, again, not collapsing. You're moving into that clamshell, trying to keep big toe, heels connected. It's not about rolling back and getting that knee up. It's about the strength. Connecting at the core. Again, if you start feeling your neck, you can support the head and neck in the top arm as long as your shoulders aren't bothering you. Gentle Ujjayi breath is a great breath to use if it's comfortable. In through the nose, out through the nose, mouth lightly closed. That ocean breath giving the mind a place of focus. When you're finished, knees together, hand just rests on the rib cage. As you exhale, you draw the top shoulder towards the floor, making sure you're not collapsing down, but pressing up. Twist, twist, twist. And then as you inhale, opening, 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 squeezing the shoulder blades, lifting up, rounding, 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 shoulders moving apart, up and open, squeeze the shoulder blades. Some of you did it 3 times, some of you maybe more. Open, 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 and down. Stretch the legs out. Take that arm, extend it out. Turn the fingers so they point forward. So when you bend the elbow, it bends back. And as you lower, the leg comes up. And as you come up, the leg comes down. So it's like I'm pulling my hands together, moving my shoulders apart. Trying not to dip forward, but finding that breath. Neck is relaxed. Try to do whatever number you did to the other side. And then pause. This time coming down onto your belly, placing one hand on top of the other, letting the knees bend, forehead rests on the hands, and just let the legs move gently from side to side. Lower the legs down. Bring the hands under the shoulders. Come up, forehead, nose, chin, chest, into this gentle cobra. Your legs can be side by side if there's not a back problem, but hip width apart if the back's giving you a little sensation. Perhaps you can lift your hands off the floor. Some of you may be able to rest the hands lightly down and come up a bit higher. Remember, it's not a push-up. Use the strength. And coming down, ribs, chest, chin, nose, forehead. Pause. Press up onto your hands and knees. Send the hips, maybe open your knees a bit wide. Toes touch and send the bottom back. You can come down to your elbows and support the head. Be really mindful if you're feeling dizzy at all or you have any high or low blood pressure, just don't drop that head down. Rock a bit. You can go into full child's pose if you like, or bring yourself up onto your hands and knees. Bring your knees and feet parallel. Tuck your toes. Send your hips back to your heels so you get that little bit of toe torture. Rock a bit. And then walk your hands forward, bringing the ears between the arms. Press the hips back until the knees lift. Keep pressing the hips up and back till you find downward dog. And walk it out a bit. Set your foundation so you might need your feet a little farther apart for back, hamstrings. Perhaps the knees bend. You maintain that natural curve of your spine. And you follow the rhythm of your breath. And then you slowly lift the heels, bend the knees, and bring yourself into a standing forward fold or a half fold, if that's better for you today. You can hold the ankles, you can hold the elbows, you can hold the toes, you can have your hands under your feet. Just make this forward fold what you need it to be for you today.
a half fold if that's better. Know what you need. And then slowly walk your hands up the legs, letting your head be the very last thing to come up. And roll your shoulders back a bit. Let the arms swing. Go back and forth from your toes to your heels. Good, and then shake it out. So I had said you would need a Kleenex, so grab your Kleenex. And just curl it into a little bit of a ball. And drop the Kleenex on the floor in front of you. Put your hands on your hips. Good. Set your foundation. Notice if your hips are pointing straight ahead. And shift your weight to your left foot, lifting your right foot off the floor. And just let that leg swing. You may even find that one hand on the belly, one hand on the low back shows you if you've got the natural curve of your spine. Chin parallel to the floor. Try not to lock that left leg. Good. Let the movement stop, but don't let the leg come to the floor or the foot come to the floor. And now take that leg out to the side, just like we did on our sides earlier, without leaning. Connect top and bottom half. Try to keep your toes pointing straight ahead. The foot tends to want to turn. Good. Let the movement stop. Lift. And then let the leg go side to side. And then let the movement stop. Take those right toes and pick up your Kleenex. Move the thigh up. You can use walls. Bring the foot over. Take the left hand, take the Kleenex. Bring the right leg back. Bend the left knee. Bring the right foot behind. Grab the Kleenex. Bring it in front. Grab the Kleenex. Bring the leg back. Grab the Kleenex. And just do that a few times. Keeping the breath, noticing if you're leaning, notice your balance. Good. Next time the leg's back with the Kleenex, stop. Bring the knee towards the knee. Bring the knee up. Extend the leg out. Bend the knee. And then press it down. Take the Kleenex, set it over on the floor in front of you. Walk that out. Notice the difference from leg to leg. Reset your foundation. Shift the weight to the right. Lift the left foot without, swinging the hip out as best you can. Let it swing. Maybe one hand on the belly, maybe one hand on the low back. Unclench your toes, unclench your teeth. Good, let the movement stop. Try not to lock that right leg. Out, in, out, in, breathing. And the mind follows the breath. There's no time to think about all those other things going on. We're just present in the moment. Good. Pause, leg forward, across, and it's really easy to want to collapse into that weight-bearing leg. Be strong. Good, let the movement stop. Grab the Kleenex. Good, bring it over. Take it, move it behind, grab the Kleenex, forward, over. Do it a few times. Try to keep the hips even. Try to keep your awareness. Keep the breath. Notice the difference from one side to the other. The next time the leg's behind, let the movement stop. Knee to knee, knee up, extend the leg, bend the knee, lower it down. Let go of the Kleenex, just go back and forth from the toes to the heels. Take a breath in, arms out to the side and up. And as you exhale, just fold the body forward. Halfway if that's better. Walk it out a bit. Now while you're down there, you're not done with that Kleenex yet. Pick the Kleenex up, either walk the hands up the legs or take the arms out and bring yourself all the way up. Get and lower the arms down. Back and forth from toes to heels. Now stand towards the back end of your mat. The Kleenex is in your right hand. Lean forward and drop the Kleenex across to your left. Come back up. Bend partway forward. Lift the right foot up off the floor. And reach with the right hand. Grab the Kleenex. Come up. Put it down. Switch hands. Bend. Lift the left leg. Lean this time. Drop with the leg off the floor. You can keep it down if that's better for you. Come up. And then reach. Reach. You can do it. And up. And switch on that diagonal. Keep the hips square though. Don't let the hips roll open. Reach. Pick up. Switch. Keep going. Do a few more on each side. When you finish, finish in a forward fold. Keep your breathing. You can slide the Kleenex off to the side. And then either walk the hands up the legs or extend the arms out and come all the way up to standing. Lower the arms down. Roll the shoulders out. Roll them the other way. Good. Standing in that strong mountain pose with the outside edges of your feet parallel. If your shoulders don't hurt, the hands are behind the head. If your shoulders are a bit sore or tense, keep your hands on your hips. Breathe in as you lengthen. Breathe out as you bend to the right. If it doesn't hurt the neck, look up to the left elbow. Try to press strongly down into that left foot. Look straight ahead, come all the way up, shoulders soften, and bending left. Use your legs. Look up to the right if it doesn't hurt the neck. Keep breathing, keep breathing. Coming all the way back up, bending the knees and feet parallel. Bottom goes back, you stop halfway. Or you go all the way forward. See what's best for you. The thumbs on the sides of your neck give you a bit of traction, but remember, let go of the hands from the head if it's hurting. Knees bend, torso parallel to the floor. Bring yourself all the way up. Lower the arms down. Heel toe your feet a little bit farther apart. Hands behind head again. Squeeze the legs towards each other. Bend to the right. Try not to collapse into it. Use the strength of the legs. Look up to the left. The shoulders are moving apart. Gaze forward. Resist as you come up. And over to the left. Looking up to the right. If it doesn't hurt the neck, breathing. Looking straight ahead, coming all the way up. Knees bend, hips back, pause halfway. You can always put the elbows on the thighs, or head down, hips up, full fold. Use your breathing. Lift the arches of your feet. Knees bend, torso parallel to the floor. Use your palms on your thighs if you need. Use the strength of the legs to bring you up. Release the arms down. Roll the shoulders out. Roll them the other way. Heel toe your feet a little farther apart. You have two other options, so go back to one of the other two options if that's better. So remember, use your legs. Draw in and up. Hands behind the head if you can. Bending to the right. Use the strength of the leg, the big toe mound, little toe mound, center of the heel. Working. Look up to that left elbow if it doesn't hurt your neck. Use your breathing. Good, looking straight ahead, coming all the way up, using the foundation, your feet, your legs, and over to the other side. Remember, the feet are the foundation of standing postures, so use the feet. Look up if it doesn't hurt the neck. Breathing, breathing, looking straight ahead, coming up, bending the knees, sending the hips back. You can stay here, or head drops, hips lift. You may need to readjust your foundation. Make sure the legs aren't locked. Knees bend, torso parallel to floor, hands to thighs if it's better. Bring yourself up and release, hands to hips. One foot turns out, the other foot turns out. Bend the knees, so knees above heels or knees above ankles. Rock a bit, hips even, bottom's not sticking out. Goddess pose. Hands stay on hips, or arms come forward, arms open and elbows bend. Palms face in towards the head. The right heel lifts and lowers. Left heel lifts and lowers. Both heels lift. Breathing, groin drops, pelvic floor lifts, corners of the mouth lift. Both heels down, left lifts, lower, right lifts, lower. Both lift, elbows move in towards each other, breathing. Elbows and palms move apart, breathing. Once more, bringing the arms in, lifting the chest. Heels are still up if you can. Listen to the story of your breath. Heels down. Torso comes up, squeeze. 10 toes point forward. Hands to hips. Knees bend, hips go way back. It's good, you can stay here or place the elbows on the thighs. Send the hips back a bit, keep the natural curve of your neck. If you want to, you can drop the arms and walk your fingertips forward without putting any weight on the fingertips. Bring the ears between the arms, lift the toes, lift the fingers lightly, and send the hips up and back into this wide-legged variation of downward dog. Knees bend. Torso and arms parallel to the floor. Put your palms on your thighs if you like. Squeeze your legs. Bring yourself up. Lower the arms down. Roll the shoulders back. Roll them forward. Heel, toe, heel, toe, heel, toe. Go up on the balls of the feet and walk to the very back of your mat. Have that awareness to your hips. Walk forward on the balls of the feet to the front of the mat. Lower the heels down. Bring the arms up or put your hands on the hips and bend over to the right, up to the center, over to the left, up to the center, add a back bend, either putting the hands on the hips or having the arms up, or giving yourself that traction, that lengthening of the neck. Take a breath or two in this back bend, really opening up the front body. Back bends are stimulating postures. The strength of the legs bring you up, the arms lift, the knees bend, the ribs come to the thighs or the elbows come to the thighs, and you pause. Try to remember the importance of the pauses. This is what yoga is teaching us. Enjoy the pause. And then folding all the way forward if that feels good for you. Take the arms to where it benefits the shoulders. Really try to understand the choices that you make and why you do what you do. If you don't like this transition, then go to tabletop or come back to standing and get there from there. Otherwise, keep your right foot where it is. Step your left leg back at a slight angle and bring yourself up into this warrior one position. Hips pointing straight ahead. Extend the arms forward. Inhale, open the arms, drawing that right hip back. Exhale, arms forward, drawing the right hip back. Breathing in. Breathing out. Keep the breath. You can stay there like that or lift the back heel. Pivot the toes forward and bend the back knee. You can place it on the floor if that's better. Breathe in, front hip back, back thigh forward. Breathe out. Breathe in. Breathe out. Both legs straighten. Step forward. Arms up, bending to one side, doesn't matter which one. Bending to the other side. Coming up. Add the back bend, any variation that truly benefits you, opens the front body. Inhale, coming up. Exhale, half fold, pause. Breathing in, full fold if it's comfortable. Transition as it's best for you. Left foot stays as is, right leg goes back, slight ankle. Bend the left knee, bring yourself up. Warrior one position. Hands can remain on hips or arms forward. Breathing in, front hip back, back thigh forward. Breathing out. Reset the foundation, which is your feet, if that's what you need. Follow the flow of the breath. Body is strong. Mind is strong, clear, present. Back heel lifts, toes pivot forward, back knee bends. It can come all the way to the ground if you needed to. Front hip back, breathe in, breathe out. Unclench the 5 front toes. Front hip back, back thigh forward. Flow with your breath. Breathing. Inhale. Both legs straighten. Exhale. Inhale, step forward. Exhale, halfway. Keep your breathing. I'll forget to tell you to breathe. It's a good idea that you keep breathing. Now you can transition to a seated position however you like, or if you can lift the heels and come down to a squat. Lift the arms up. Go from your toes to your heels to your bottom. Slide the heels out. Scooch the hips back and up so you can tip the pelvis forward. Take a breath or two here. Deepen the forward fold, whatever depth means for you. Depth could be staying with your knees bent and just focusing the mind on the breath. It's not about how straight your legs are. It's not about whether you're doing yoga on a chair or on the floor. It's just about how present you are within yourself. And bring yourself all the way up. Roll your shoulders back. Find your way onto your mat. Take a moment, just rock that out, bring the knees into the chest. Now, if you do find that you'd benefit from a little blanket or something under your head, give yourself time to make those adjustments. Let the arms open, palms up or down, and drop the knees over to the right. You can always do this with your feet on the floor if it's better. Turn the head the way it feels best for you. Bring it back to the center, over to the other side. Breathing. Back arm up or down. Where would it feel best? Back to the center. You may want to repeat it once more on each side, or you may find that you need a happy baby variation. There might be something else that you just really need. Take that time. As you're ready to come down, you can lower the legs straight down, or you can bend the knees, put the feet on the floor and straighten the legs. Take a breath in, tighten everything just as tight as you can. A big, long, loud surrendering, letting go exhalation. Find your way into your most comfortable position for Shavasana. And remember, if you need to stay in Shavasana longer than I have time to allow you to be there, give yourself the gift of a little longer Shavasana. It's your time to replenish your body, your mind, your spirit. Welcoming the stillness as best you can. Slowly allowing the awareness to return. And just allowing gentle movement to find its way back into your body. You may want to roll gently over onto one side and just pause for a breath or two as you transition back to your day. Take all that loving kindness you show yourself on the mat out there into your daily lives. Bring yourself back up to a seated position. If you have glasses, maybe just slide them off. Bring your hands together at heart center. Rub your palms together until you feel that warm heat stimulating into all those nerve endings in the palms. Pause and just rest those warm hands over your eyes. Take that warm, peaceful feeling and keep it with you for the rest of your day. Bringing your hands down to heart center. Thank you so much for sharing your time and your practice with me today. Namaste. Have a great day.